Hi everyone, it's Amy. I've come to have a little chat to you about little micro discussions. I come from an anthropology and social sciences background. I work in the field of mental health and I manage teams of counsellors. And my motivation for doing some of these little videos is, if any of this helps, if any of this sort of brings something up, opens a discussion for people. And I'd like to also be a part of the broader discussions going on, and impart some of the little bits of wisdom and little lessons I've learnt along the way from some of the most brilliant, wise people that I've come across, and perhaps honour them through that, and maybe speak a little bit to my younger self and younger people who this might be useful for. So in this video, I'd like to have a chat about how what you think about you bring about. And this is a big one. Where your attention goes, energy flows. We've probably all heard a few of these little ditties, and it all comes down to what you're thinking about is what you're then attracting. And if you think of it like we're a little radio frequency that emits energy and transmissions, and then from that we then attract back to us, that might help you sort of visualize what I'm talking about here. So when you focus and notice something, you've tuned into it energetically. When you focus, you notice, and it brings you together with that thing. So whether it's I really don't want this, there's a lot of focus going to this. So the I don't want bit doesn't actually register in the subconscious realm. It's the this bit. So focusing on what you don't want can actually bring about what you don't want. And I've had enough first-hand experiences of that to say that with certainty. Lots of my lessons have been learnt the hard way, and I wouldn't have it any other way. It's great. Mind you, I don't mind the next part of chapters of my life being a little calmer, a little less, crash dummy kind of styles. Yeah, what you focus on, you're engaging with. Okay, so it goes beyond manifestation. Your brain will actually tune in, and it will resonate. You'll be looking for it. You might have heard of the self-fulfilling prophecy thing. So for instance, if I have a client and they come in and they talk about, I really don't want my ex to do this, or I really don't want, let's say, let's not talk about exes, let's say I really don't want my mum to do this, I really don't want my mum to do this thing. It's actually more likely, from what I've seen, that in the next few sessions they'll come in and they'll tell me about how, mum did that exact thing that I said I didn't want her to do. And I feel like for me it's a pattern that then becomes statistics, which then becomes data, which for me then becomes a scientific outcome. So what you're focusing on, so what I try and do in client sessions, just for the sake of us bringing that part of it up, I would encourage that client to focus on an outcome they want. I would encourage that client, and that can be a difficult thing to begin with, especially when you're like, I don't want my mum to, come in and take over this situation. She always does that. Well, it can be hard to then focus on your mum not coming in and taking over that situation, particularly when she's like that. That all evidence has been that that's how she is, and past behaviour will dictate future behaviour. But your attitude towards it can be the key to shift it, right? So strategizing around, when you're thinking of that, think of the outcome you'd like. So I'd like for my mum to come and enjoy this event that I'm putting on and not feel the need to control it and take over. And I'm envisioning her sitting there having a nice time, chatting to other guests, You know, let's say the scenario is a party and you're worried she's going to come in and take it over. Envision her enjoying the party and trusting you to manage things. Now, there may be some factors here that you need to own, in that in this particular scenario, your mother may come in because she either feels like she's helping and there's some communication that needs to occur there for you to communicate that it's not helping and I need you to do this. So that's probably another video. But your mind tuning into the negative outcome is almost going to guarantee it. You know, it's almost going to guarantee it. It pretty much aligns you with it. So let's use another example. Like, I'm worried I'm going to, I'm going to lose my job. You know, things have been going really bad at work and I've been, it's just stopped working out. I'm really worried I'm going to lose my job. I'm pretty sure I'm going to lose my job. I think I'm losing my job. Well, you'll be looking out for all the things that agree with you. You'll be tuning into more negative aspects of your work and environment, and probably your manager and your interactions with other colleagues, and you'll be probably not, able to fulfill your role in such a way that you're going to, So when fears and doubts add up to you fretting and worrying and tuning into what you don't want, your brain actually starts wanting to find how you were right, how it was right. And so it actually then, in micro ways, starts aligning you further with the exact thing that you don't want. And it's how the brain works. If I try and think of an example from my life where that's happened, okay. When I was much younger, I was trying to juggle money and bills and things, and I was quite young doing it all with kids and whatever, so I didn't always get it right, and I'd be like worried I'm going to run out of money. Well, I could budget to a certain point, I could whatever, but it's almost like as soon as I got into that mindset I was going to run out of money, there wouldn't be enough money. It's almost like that just signaled to the universe, all right, send me a, pop tire on my car, or send me a extra bill I didn't expect, or send me some, kids need extra stuff for school camp or something. It would almost guarantee it. And so I had enough of those experiences to realize that a more constructive way of using my mind was to be thinking, all right, I'm aware that I need to be mindful of money, but I'm not focusing on running out of money. I'm focusing on, I need to be resourceful with this. Do you see how that shifts? It shifts from, I'm going to run out of money, I'm worried I'm going to run out of money, to, I need to be mindful with my money. And so our language, our self-talk, the way that we're approaching a situation matters. So with the controlling mother, I'm worried she's going to control everything, to I'm going to communicate with her to let her know that it's okay and I got this. Or I'm worried I'm going to lose my job. It's difficult at work right now, but I can focus in on either strategizing an exit or a plan B, or mending the relationships with my colleagues or my manager, So your attention, where it's going, is going to affect the outcomes. And so that's what comes back to what you think about, you bring about. When you think the world is great, you will see great things. This goes broad into general, so rather than these little examples, let's broaden it back out. When you think the world is a scary place, it will be. When you think the world has possibility and people can do good, and you will see those things. Your mind will want to find proof of what it's thinking at the time. So you have some control over how you shift your thinking. You can reframe how you're addressing or ruminating about an issue Mind you, rumination isn't the best, but if your mind tends towards that, you can actually shift it and use it as a bit of a superpower. So if you want to practice this, as far as, just a little tiny thing, next time you go to a shopping centre and you're thinking, oh, there's not going to be any parks, I challenge you to think, there's going to be a perfect park in a good spot for me. And I really want you to feel into that. Feel what it feels like to park into that park and go, wow, I'm lucky. That park was totally there for me. I'm challenging you to do that. But you have to feel it and you have to practice it. You might have to practice it more than once. The first time you might be this close to getting that park. But the second time, because so much of it comes back to the emotions behind the thinking as well, the feeling behind the thinking as well. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm just thinking this, but it's not actually true, you've kind of just neutralized it, But if you're thinking it going, who knows, this could be true. This chick might be onto something. Yeah, I'd be interested to see if that works for anyone. It works for me pretty much every time. And if I don't think it, it's a lucky dip. But if I do think it, I pretty much guarantee a park. And it's weird. It's actually eerily weird, but it's awesome at the same time. So look, to wrap up, what we focus on, we become attuned to, and then we will align with. And the greatest thing here is that you get to choose. All right, thank you so much for listening. I hope this helped just a little bit. See ya.